cool to talk or touch on for anybody listening or watching, whatever. Is like how many things I don't even know. Man has a conversation before. How many things you do that are for your betterment, whether it's on a daily thing or a weekly thing. With him, I was talking to my man about it. He's talking to a girl and she didn't really have good answers about this. But he's like, no, like, and he's like, for example, no, like I pray. And I feel like prayer is good
100%.
for my spirit and my daily activity, my weekly goals, shot that. So he said, and I was like, yeah, like well. Me working out, when I'm looking for a job, I apply. When I'm looking for a
You
job,
go hard.
I'm looking for jobs.
Yeah,
Like, no,
yeah.
20 apps a day type
Yeah,
shit,
yeah.
whatever. So, apply. If you're trying to look for a job, you hate your job, apply to a job. It could be good for you, whether you get
Yeah.
a fucking call back or not, whatever. Because
Yeah.
at least it's putting the shit
It's
out
just
there.
forward motion, yeah.
Exactly, forward motion. So I would say, like, working out, reading, being in contact with people. I feel a lot of times people like, damn, like, I feel kind of out of it or whatever. You possibly need, like, some extra energy from people you love, and I love you, whatever.
100%.
Contact. I'm always in contact with people, whatever, because I care about preserving contact and circles, whatever. So
Yeah.
I'll throw that to you.
No, everything you said, I agree with. As far as and I'm gonna tap into the betterment thing that you said, even in regard to relationships. But for the betterment of self, like that's literally like everything that I stand for. Like I make a goal to read one chapter a day. One chapter a day. That's the goal. I pray every day and night. And if you can't finish a chapter, because some books have long chapters, do 10 pages. And that way you can consume the information in small sizes that, whoa. But the information is the context. But all in all, you are able to consume the information without overload. You know what I'm saying? So it gives you that confidence, like, you know what? Because one thing about achievement, it boosts your morale. And when your morale is higher, you feel more confident. When you're more confident, you're more likely to execute. So the goal is to make things as easy as possible. Like if I say, man, if I look at a book and I'm like, man, that shit 365 pages. I'm not reading that. But if I'm like, man, you know what? If I was to read 10 pages a day, it would only take me 36 days to read. And then I'm like, you know what? I got 36 days to read this, because even reading one book can literally change your life. Actually, reading one book changed my life. So reading, praying, self-work, sitting with yourself, I'm talking about no distractions at all. Like literally, and asking yourself challenging questions without the first response. See, because if somebody asks you a question, you typically go to your autopilot response. The response that comes to your mind that you've been saying, the one that you told yourself, the one. But the thing is, the behavior could be so subconscious and unconscious now that you got to really get to the nitty gritty and ask yourself why. So it might be like, you said, I love chips. Why? Oh, why? You got to really keep asking why until you get to the root of it. Well, when did I even start loving chips? And what was it associated with? Because it could have been associated with the fact that one day you got yelled at and you got sad and you seen chips and now every time you feel like that, you attach it to eating chips, because now you don't even need to get yelled at to want to eat chips. You just, whenever you're feeling down, it could be for whatever. You ain't get the news you wanted. So doing the self-work and sitting with yourself is for the betterment, because being better is not just for you. Me becoming a better man made me a better father, a better boyfriend and potential husband, a better leader, a better friend, a better son, a better nephew, because I started to become intentional about my experience in the eyes of others. So it wasn't like I was actually was like probably more a people pleaser before. I don't people please. Like I had to go, because I went from never being a people pleaser, kind of being self-centered, because as young boys we could be like that, only really think about things from my perspective, to starting to see the world so like from outwards perspective that I'm starting to just making sure everybody else happy and I'm not even taking care of me, to me now knowing how to discern between the two. But in doing so, it's like, okay, I have boundaries. That's the key. I got boundaries, but at the same time, all of the things that I did to make me better made me better as a dad, made me better as a boyfriend. And now everybody that know me love and accept me for who I am. But it's not like I'm flawed and on purpose accept me. It's like everybody's flawed and this is just who I am. But at the same time, I am working to become more improved. Like I'll set a goal. Like, you know what? I want to be a better boyfriend this year. And then I say, what does that look like? All right, well, what haven't been doing that she may have been asking? What is a blank request, or what is actually a substantial request? Because you got to discern between the two. I'm not about to just adhere to everything you ask me, but this makes logical sense, and I can understand the emotional toll that it could even have negative or in a positive way. So I'm gonna do these things to get better in these areas, and then I do the self work. So to that about betterment, but
and real quick to chime as well.
I was gonna throw it.
I like the one part you definitely said. sitting with yourself, and I like it hit me. I'm like, no, like that's probably like an understated, underrated thing itself. Cause it's funny, cause I kind of go in and out when I'm just like to myself. Whatever, I could be watching a movie, whatever. Then, but if my mind is on something, I have to really just pause the movie, just really sit and just kind of like think about it, plan it out, visualize or whatever. It could be like money related or just ideas or whatever. That I really would just like, well, let me just pause real quick and just sit in silence and really just think about it or whatever.
Yeah.
So I definitely think it's important to just sit with yourself. It could be just in the car, turn the music off sometimes, drive in silence, just sit with this for a minute.
Oh, facts. Even before you make a decision, because I don't even drive with music. My kids and them tell you, like I got a feel good playlist. My feel good playlist is comprised of songs that make me feel good, and it's like, and I got all my playlist has a purpose. But even on my way here, I was listening to my feel good playlist. It got all of the songs that like most people probably won't listen to, but these are songs that genuinely, lyrically, music, instrumental wise, makes me uplifted.
What's one on there?
I'm the Man by Aloe Black or Alec Black, something like that.
Okay.
I'm the man.
Oh, yeah.
And make you feel good. Tell everybody.
Like, all on the commercials. Yeah.
Exactly. Like songs like that though. Like, I got so many songs, bro. I'll send it to you. As a matter of fact, you might just tell me what you like off the playlist. But I typically do that because it literally raises your vibration. And what people don't understand about music subconsciously is that it does take a toll. Sure. Like you listening to drill music at 9 a.m. and wondering why you thinking about all your people you that done died and all of the people you that done backstabbed you and you want to hurt something. It's the music taking a toll on you. So sometimes just driving in silence, it forces you to be present in the moment and to allow your mind to race and then allow the race to end. A lot of times people mind race, but it never end because they always divert their attention to something that would temporarily distract them. And then when they not being distracted, their mind is racing. So they are distracting themselves from the race. I let my mind run the race, finish the race, calm down, think about the race, and then I be away from it. Because even when I'm having a negative thought, I literally see one thing about thoughts, right? They say on average, it was determined that we have like 30 to 60,000 thoughts a day or something like that. And don't quote me, but it's like around either one of them two numbers, right? So imagine that. It's like your mind can literally ask yourself a question, give it an answer. Think about the past, think about the future, think about tomorrow, think about the day, think about your last, think about your next. Like it can literally process all of that fast in milliseconds. And you're not even conscious about a lot of the thoughts that you having. So for me, when I became self-aware about the negative thoughts that I would have, and then when you understand the word emotion just means energy and motion. Like that's what it means, energy and motion. So it fluctuates. So that's why emotions go from happy, sad, this, that. It's a fluctuating process. So I understand that when I'm having a negative thought, it's literally in that negative state. So I capture it, but I don't hold it. And I'll be like, all right, it's going to pass. It's going to pass. It's going to pass. And I let the whole thought come. Man, fuck this. She cheated on me. She did this. I'm thinking all the way back in the past sometime. I'm like, oh, man, that motherfucker stole me money. And I'm catching myself. Then when it starts to get a little slower, I ask myself, and this is stuff that I really do in the day-to-day. I'm like, why did that make you feel like that? Why are you holding on to that? What's tied to that? Why, like, you feel me? And I might be like, sometimes I get triggered, consider my background. I get real triggered. And I had to tell myself, I'm safe. I'm safe. I'm safe, because I get into this fight or flight, and it's like, it could be a loud boom. I'm like, oh shit, I'm safe. And I do these things, and this is for the people that are really traumatized from real deal shit. Like understanding like the amount of times that I was in real deal situations, I had to really come up with real deal practices. So getting all the way back to full circle moment about sitting with yourself, I wouldn't be able to discover these things if I don't sit with myself. If I don't just sit there and be like you might do something that trigger me, and I'm like, damn, well, what is this associated with? When Q said that, why was I triggered? Like, he ain't even, you know what I'm saying? Then I go through the motion, I'm like, oh, because it reminded me of that. So it's not even that what Q said really triggered me. It's that it sparked a feeling that was reminiscent of something that triggered me.
Right. And it's funny, I got two quick thoughts.
Do your thing.
Oh yeah, like literally the other day when I was most recently just like playing some shit in my mind, visualizing, I don't usually have these type of mental moments where usually I can think about something, then I'm like, oh no, all right, that's concluded in my mind, I can kind of move on. But it was a very weird feeling today where like my mind was racing fast as shit, and I really didn't know why. I had to start the movie back. I had to your point about being distracted, I really had to stop thinking to like distract myself. I know why my mind was just going too fast, and I really was sitting thinking like usually, cause I agree with you. The way you described it, I totally agree. That we're like, I think my mind could just start and it ends. I'm done with it, move on. But my shit was just going. That shit did feel weird as hell. I'm like, I'm gonna turn this fucking documentary around. Other thing too, quick funny story about the chip shit. Literally, I pinpointed. I know where exactly it came from. So I used to go to 2 different daycares. One I love, Miss Marcy. That was a great daycare, whatever. The other joint, it actually was a better facility. It's a bigger toy. It was cool, whatever. But I hated going there. Like I would go Miss Marcy, but Miss Marcy's, I don't fucking know why she's closed some days, whatever. And Whenever I would go there, I would lose my fucking mind, like just crying nonstop, this and that, whatever. And my mom would give me a bag of sour cream chips, and dumbass little kid, it would calm me down. I would stop crying and totally forget that she's even leaving.
Yeah.
By the time I'm done chips, all right, cool. Where my mom at? Gone. Crying all over again. But then it'll be less of a cry than it'll end, whatever. So when that thought hit me years, I was like, holy shit, like. That's probably why I love chips or whatever. Yeah, that shit was fucking conditioned into me to shut the fuck up.
It was conditioned. And now the environment don't even have to be the same. And again, this
it's
is like
joy and pleasure.
These are scientifically proven facts in multiple books. But, you know, it just ironic. First of all, it's dope. But it was so funny while I'm sitting here, right? I'm like, Q don't even understand that he's transcending mentally right now. The reason I'm going to tell you that is because...
We're going to touch on last episode, too. Yeah,
the reason I'm going to tell you that because Q is so closed off to doing the self-development. And he's going to say that he's not. But he's doing it without trying to admit that it's happening. That's what I'm trying. So let me say it like that. He's doing it without trying to admit that it's happening. So the fact that your mind even did something different than it normally does, you're normally able to process and move on. And the fact that you actually had the thought and you was like conscious of it, you're coming into awareness, bro. So it'll be a few episodes before he be in here tearing up about the things that we gonna work you through. Like you're gonna be cool. Like
this guy, we gonna get to that part later. I had a lot of conversations about the last conversation. It was hilarious, whatever. But
yeah, you start doing it. It's called work. You start doing the self work.
Work.
Start doing the work.